Marijuana continues to stay on this, hush-hush fringe, even though everybody consumes it. I mean, we have people we talk to who are pages for legislators.
All walks
You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Those legislators are smoking.
Right, exactly. Senators, congressmen.
My uncle's a director of communications for a certain congressman, and I smoked with them and I smoked in Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I've rolled blunts on senators' desks.
I believe it.
This place is, it's a beautiful place to be able to be at.
It is. But it's so hush-hush, though, man.
It's not anymore. I feel proud. I walk around and somebody asks me what I do. I feel proud to say that I'm in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
I don't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't hide it to anybody.
So why do you think society has such a problem?
This guy right here used to be a police officer.
Yeah. That's probably why I recognize him. He probably recognized me like this.
All right. So like from that, you can, for somebody who used to see something as such a demonistic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this man's here and smoked and sat and stood at my booth and helped this, help my booth along.
And on the other side,
side, and seen what is being taught in an academy about this.
Right.
Like he's like telling me these things, and I'm like, dude, I've been smoking weed since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's not true. Whatever is told to you is not real. These are things that are put in place to scare you and control you.
Absolutely.
So once that veil has been lifted and you understand, it's a whole different thing. The veil's been lifted and it's no longer a beast, it's a child.
Right.
And if you look at it like that, it's no longer this marijuana, which it was given that name to make it scary because it came from Mexico. It came from Mexico. It's scary.
Yeah.
It was given that name to scare people.
Yeah.
Why this thing's not scary. That's why they changed it. It's Mary Jane. It's a happy name.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean, you can't vilify something that's great. Like you consume it and you instantly feel happy and euphoric.
Yeah. In all forms of it.
I'm not saying euphoric is in.
Yeah.
It is in like, oh my God, I'm talking euphoric is in, I can get up and not take pharmaceuticals. I was on probation for 3 years. I was on pharmaceuticals that I hated it. I had to be on pharmaceuticals to keep me from, having anxiety attacks. I was on pharmaceuticals to keep me motivated and focused. They call it ADHD. I don't think it's a disability. It's a gift. All right, ADHD is not a disability; it's a gift.
Yeah.
All right, people with ADHD, the government tells you to give them Ritalin, to give them these drugs to slow their minds down and to make them dull and like society.
Yeah.
Instead of unleashing their abilities and giving them the capabilities to grow and to be something great. Why would you hush something like that? That's asinine.
Back in August of 2016, I started writing this book called ADD to Your Advantage. And I'm working on that now because all throughout, maybe high school, I was told I had ADD and I needed to do something and do this and that. And my parents were like, no, fuck that. We don't need to put him on no fucking meds. We don't need to have no kind of special counselors and shit. Like, if he wants to hop from one subject to another subject, let him do that. And then, like, they completely provided that environment for that to work. But I mean, in that regard, my parents were the kind of parents that, like, they explained a situation to me and then they let me make a decision. And they did the same exact thing with marijuana. I know that my parents consumed, they never hid it or anything like that. But also, they explained the situation to me and let me make my own choice. A lot of parents nowadays are kind of going back to that, but I'm still seeing like the stragglers are being like, yo, it's going to turn you to something that you're not. It's going to demonize you and this and that. And that's just not what it is.
My parents are like that.
Yeah.
If they
very
caught
strict
me with weed, they would call the police and they would make sure I got arrested.
Yeah. See,
my mom has actually threatened to have my kids taken away from me because she knows I smoke pot. She just has never seen me doing it.
I mean, where does that level of conservatism come from to where you really have to? That's a lot.
My dad's a career Marine.
Mhm.
He brainwashed and believes everything that the government tells him. And my mom's a civil servant. Again, believes everything the government tells her.
Yeah. That's
Hardcore.
so crazy.
They're also hardcore evangelical Christians.
Yeah.
So in church, it's not right.
Yeah.
It's it's a chemical that you're putting into your body, regardless of if it's natural or not.
Right.
And it's like that. No, your God put it here for people to use.
Exactly, to consume.
Otherwise, it wouldn't
It's an
have
herb.
so many.
Yeah.
It's the most versatile product on the face of the planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not allowed to use it.
Exactly. But again, that's what we were talking about, the lobbyists, and the money, and this and that. That's what runs the country. And that's the reason the laws are the way that they are. You know? I mean, there's no hiding any of that. And they don't even try to hide it anymore. You know what I'm saying? They have these super PACs for a reason. That's just a small buffer. And then now corporations are fucking people. So now it doesn't even matter because their money can speak for, you know, a million different individual peoples, and they can write that check in one day. You know, can you imagine the grassroots kind of efforts that that took place to get us to where we are now, and to move like an inch? You know, why can't we be, you know, fully recreational? There's no scientific proof that any of the things happen that they want to happen, but they can pay off a scientist to make it.
Illegal.
Exactly.
Between the pharmaceuticals and prisons.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There it is.
Figure
I grew up a
pot
little
dealer
bit
goes to
different
a
than
pot
both
dealer-
of you guys.
Yeah.
Like, your parents were open about it. Your parents were completely closed. Like, my dad and my mom smoked weed, but still hid it from me. And, and it was still faux pas. It was still bad, you know, when I first was interested in weed and everything, I started smoking weed, I still had to hide it. My parents found it, and I still got in trouble for it. And then time progressed, and I just didn't give a fuck. And I just, you know, through school, you were saying, you know, when you were in school, that, you know, they kept trying to tell you, you know, you need to stop this ADD thing. You need to stop this ADD thing. And they told my dad the same thing. And, you know, I've got the papers where, you know, they wanted me on all kinds of medicine. My dad was like, no, you know, and at the same time, I kind of thank him. And at the same time, you know, I wonder what it would have been like if I would have taken the stuff that they would have wanted me to be on. But without it, I was able to excel in school. I completed every test with the top score. I mean, if you could get 100 and then there was extra credit, I got that extra credit plus 100. I never missed a question. When it came to homework, schoolwork, anything like that, I didn't do that. That's the reason for homework and schoolwork is to practice, to pass a test, to prove that you have the knowledge to do it. So if I can take that test and prove that I have the knowledge without having to do any homework or schoolwork, then I shouldn't have to. That's what that's for.
Bro, it's rogues like us that think like that shut systems down.
I graduated a year early from high school and didn't even try. I skated the fuck by with a 1.95 GPA.
I'm not kidding you. That's my story.
Skated by 1.95 GPA, graduated a year early. And you know, I've owned my own business. I've been my own entrepreneur my whole life. I've owned my own business. I haven't worked for anybody for the last 7 years.
Taxes, all of that. Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I always pay taxes.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
well,
some things are taxable. Some things aren't taxable.
You can write off.
I mean, some things just, you know, still aren't taxable. So we have to come up with ways to tax things.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a crazy adventure where, like, we're doing things that nobody ever thought would be possible, and like I was saying with my dad and my mom, like, they hid that shit from me for so long and told me it's so bad, you know, oh, you can't do that, and I was just like, you know, relentless. I still smoked. I was like, you know, you guys are never gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing, you know, smoking, blah blah blah, sold weed forever, and then like. Now, today, you know, I don't know if any of you guys tried my edibles at all today.
No.
But if you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Yeah. If any of you did, my dad is actually my chef now. What? My dad's actually my chef now and works for us. So, like, it's complete, 180. You know, my stepmom, who always against it, is now okay with my dad working for me, working with cannabis and being in this and smoking and eating candies and doing stuff because he's happy. he changed. He's no longer upset and bored. He can be innovative and be what he wants to be. My dad's been a chef for 40 years.
Yeah.
And now he can do what he wants to do. What he's always wanted to do for his entire life, and that's cook with cannabis.
It's almost like a renaissance. Like this is the time where he can create all new things. So it's like all kind of new excitement for him.
It's exactly
That's pretty dope.
It's a
That's
completely
pretty
new
dope.
culture and community out here.
Yeah, there's nothing like this. Well, I mean, the only thing similar to this is California and even. Oh yeah, for sure.